Hi, welcome to Conversations with Kanyamozi. I'm Lisa. Thank you so much for tuning in. Today our conversation this month I'm going to be talking about feministing. If you've not watched the previous conversation, it's on were you born a feminist or do you become a feminist, and I would like your thoughts. So go listen to it after this, of course. Go listen to this and let me know in the comment section. This conversation is on the next for the length of the month. I'm going to have a conversation on the fundamental principles, values that I as a person, I as a feminist take as gospel, Bible truth, and I reflect them in all my work. Not to say the others that I don't, but these are like they're at the forefront of my work. Number one, the first principle that I take as gospel truth is collective. There's a saying by a person in the feminist movement that says a person is political, and I want to get into that again because it's another one of my fundamentals. But also collective thinking, collective doing, collective acting, collective protesting. That's a thing. Collective, if you Google the word, the first time I had it I think was in a history class, but if you Google the word, it is done by people acting as a group. Understanding that feminism is a movement, understanding that feminism is not to liberate just one person, it's to liberate all people who identify as feminists, but all people who feminism, the theory and the work seeks to liberate is very important. And for me as a feminist, there's so many things that I've had to think about, even things that don't necessarily affect me personally because of, say, the privilege that I have, but putting that into mind in my work was very essential in my being a feminist. Before I go on, I'd like to give a quote by Audre Lorde, who's like my top most, is I'm not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different from mine. And if you've watched the YouTube channel from the beginning, you'll know that was one of my first quotes that I shared. But it's very important for us to put it in our work as feminists, understanding that the work we do is not just for people in our class, it is not just for people who relate to us, but also for learning and understanding struggles of other women and fighting alongside them, not for them. That's very important, alongside them. So a mindset shift is needed when we're talking about a collective. Changing from me, I want power. You will get power, but how are you going to use that power to liberate other women or to work for other women? I want money, I want economic privilege or economic up there. How are you going to use that for other women? How are you going to be able to open the door as you yourself are opening the door for yourself? You must be sure that you must open the door for other women. And that's very important in the movement. Also, things that do not necessarily click with you. Now, I'm I'd say middle class. I guess the middle class. In Uganda, of course, maybe below the level in some other countries. I'm privileged. I've got an education. I've got a job. I'm able to say what I want to say when I want to say. On most occasions, I live life on my own terms. So I have to understand that privilege, and that doesn't mean I'm only going to fight for women who are in that privilege bracket. I have to think of women who don't necessarily have access to that and think about how to open up that they can access that, not speaking for them, not owning and fronting for them, but working alongside them. There was a conversation the other day, and there's one of these days I'm going to unpack marriage. One of these days. But there's a conversation where a feminist was saying, no, but you see, marriage is this and then this, and then we must do this, and then because you understand the economic help and all of that, get it good. It worked for her friends, it worked for her family, it worked for her parents. Amazing. Perfect. Good for you. But then we also have to understand how marriage is an institution of the patriarchy, how it has been used to oppress women, how the continuance of it, even if you try to reshape it, might be difficult, and why it might need to be abolished or reimagined, not in the way it is right now, you know. So thinking about that, even if it can work for you, even if you have this partner who understands and believes and will do a work, that may not be the reality for so many people, and you have to be aware of that. So that's why collective thinking is very important in the movement, because sometimes things can work for us, things can be okay, we can exist in spaces and it will work out, but we have to think about the bigger picture and other women and how that affects other women. Always look at the bigger picture when you're fighting, when you're addressing issues, when you're learning. There's a very interesting conversation on privilege, and I don't want to get into it right now, but very many people were like, but no, you see, privilege is not a bad thing, and I need to put that out there. It's not a bad thing, but how you use your privilege is very important as well, because thinking about who is losing at your privilege is also important, but also thinking about how to use that privilege that you have to better the lives or the political fight. You get me? Do you get me? Do you understand me? Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I'd like for you to share with me in the comment section, as a feminist, if you address or identify as a feminist, what are the 5 fundamental, just 5, don't need to go all the way to 10, 15 fundamental principles that you live by personally? This is a conversation we're going to be doing through June. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, because I told you to do, and subscribe. This is Conversations with Kenya Mozi.